Evet, tekrar merhaba. Herkes burada mı? Görebiliyor musunuz beni? Ve de slide'ı. Evet, güzel. YouTube'dan yayını başlattım. Oradan da izleyebilirsiniz. Şimdi önce mantarlarla başlıyoruz. Ee, Eğer hızlı gidebilirsek hayvanlara da başlayacağız. Ee, Fungi is the next kingdom we are going to see. Basically, they are hidden networks. What does it mean? The mushrooms you see on the forest floor are just the above ground parts of the vast network of underground filaments. Fungal plants absorb nutrients from the soil, transfer them to trees, and receive sugar in return. Some even transfer sugars between trees and between trees of different species. So this is the first example for fungi. This is a mushroom. These are what we see when we look, but actually those are only the parts that we can see. Fungi are diverse and widespread. They are essential for well-being of most terrestrial ecosystems because they break down organic material and recycle vital nutrients. About 100,000 species of fungi have been described so far. It's estimated that there are as many as 1.5 million species of fungi. Fungi are heterotrophs that feed by absorption. Despite their diversity, fungi share key characteristics or key traits, most importantly, the way in which they derive nutrition. Fungi are heterotrophs that absorb nutrients from the outside of their bodies. That's the important difference of fungi from the animals, because animals are heterotrophs as well, but animals do not absorb their nutrients directly from the environment, uh, not directly from outside the bodies. The difference of fungi is absorbing the nutrients from outside of their bodies directly. Fungi use enzymes to break down a large variety of complex molecules into smaller organic compounds. The versatility of these enzymes contribute to fungi's ecological success. Uh, there is a huge diversity in the lifestyles of fungi as well, but fungi are decomposers, and decomposer means to break down and absorb nutrients from non-living organic material. Fungi can be parasites, so there are parasitic fungi which absorb nutrient from living hosts, and there are mutualist fungi as well. Mutualistic means fungi absorb nutrients from hosts and reciprocate with actions that benefit the host. So basically, for their lifestyles, depending on the nutrition, there are three groups of fungi, or we can split the fungi into three groups: decomposers, parasites, and mutualistic fungi. When we look at the body structure of fungus, the most common body structures are multicellular filaments and single cells. So we can see both multicellular fungi and single cell fungi. Fungi with single cell or unicellular fungi are called yeast, and some species grow as either filaments or yeast, and others grow both. The morphology of multicellular fungi enhances their ability to absorb nutrients. The body of fungi form networks of branch hyphae adapted for absorption. Hyphae have tubular cell walls strengthened with chitin. Right. This is the mushroom, what we see with our eyes. But if you look at the whole body of this fungus, actually it's not the whole what we see over the ground. Actually, there is a huge part of this thing underneath the ground, under the ground. Most fungi has hyphae divided into cells by septa, with pores allowing cell-to-cell movement of organelles. Coinostic fungi lack septa, and they have a continuous cytoplasmic mass with hundreds or thousands of nuclei. These are two kinds of hyphae. So in some hyphae, cells are separated by structures called septum, singular septum, plural septa, and some of them lack the septum. Fungal hyphae form an interwoven mass called mycelium. The structure of a mycelium maximizes surface to volume ratio, making feeding very efficient. Some fungi have specialized hyphae for feeding on live animals. Others have specialized hyphae called hostoria that allows them to extract nutrients from plants. Mutualistic fungi have branching hyphae such as arbuscles that they use exchange nutrients with plant host. Right. In this picture, you can see a nematode and a fungi living on that nematode. Fungi produces spores through sexual or asexual life cycles. Fungi propagate themselves by producing vast number of spores either sexually or asexually. Spores can be carried long distances by wind or water. They will germinate if they land in moist conditions with available food. Fungi can produce spores from different types of life cycles. All right. I'm sure you have seen orange going bad. So this is all fungi. And if you look at this part under the microscope, if you take samples from this part and investigate it and investigate under microscope, this is what you will see. Other fungi can reproduce asexually, or yeast, which are single cells. Instead of producing spores, yeast reproduce asexually by simple cell divisions and the pinching of bud cells from a parent cell. Some fungi can grow as yeast and as filamentous mycelia. This is a micrograph showing the yeast, budding yeast. This is the parent cell, and these are the buds, which are the next generation. The ancestor of fungi was an aquatic single-cell flagellated protist. So fungi are evolved from protists as well. Fungi and animals are most closely related to each other than they are to plants or other eukaryotes. If you look at the origin of fungi, fungi, animals, and their protistan relatives form the opisthokonts. Opisthokonts evolved from unicellular flagellated ancestors. Again, another example for a fungus species. Other two examples. And this cloud is spores, consists of spores. Some more fungi. Fungi play key roles in nutrient cycling, ecologic interactions, and human welfare. Fungi interact with other organisms as decomposers, mutualists, and pathogens. Fungi are efficient decomposers of organic material, including cellulose and lignin. These are very strong chemical structures. They perform, the composer fungi perform essential recycling of chemical elements between the living and non-living world. Without these critical decomposers, life as we know it would cease. Mutualist fungi, the fungi form mutualistic relationships with plants, algae, cyanobacteria, and animals. Mutualistic fungi absorb nutrients from the host organism and reciprocate with actions that benefit the host. Mycorrhizae is example of mutualistic relationship between plants and fungi, and that is enormously important in natural ecosystems and agriculture. Plants harbor harmless symbiotic endophytes, fungi that live inside leaves or other plant parts. Some endophytes make toxins to help defend the host plant. Others help the plant tolerate heat, drought, and heavy metals. Most endophytes are asymbionts. Fungus-animal mutualism. Some fungi share their digestive services with animals. These fungi help break down plant material in the guts of cows and other grazing mammals. Many species and ants use the digestive power of fungi by raising them in farms. Lichens. Actually, that's another group of organism. A lichen is a symbiotic association between photosynthetic microorganisms and a fungus. Photosynthetic components is green algae or cyanobacteria. The fungal components is most often an asymbiot. Right, these are the lichens. Evet. Ha, lignin, odun. Ee, odun. Yani odunsu bitkilerin odun kısımlarını yapan yapı. Yine bir glikoz polimeri. Bildiğim kadarıyla bir polimer yapı, glikoz polimeri mi tam emin değilim ondan. Ama selüloza benzer bir yapı. Uzun polimer yapılar. Şimdi şey dediğimiz zaman bitki hücresi dediğimiz zaman şimdi bitkilerin hücre duvarındaki yapı selüloz. Selüloz bir glikoz polimeri. Ama bu selülozun haricinde bitkinin bitkinin sert kısımlarını oluşturan yani odunsu bitkilerin, ağaçların veya çalıların odunsu kısımlarını oluşturan iki temel materyal var. Bunlardan bir tanesi lignin. Dolayısıyla parçalanması son derece zor. Lignin ve süberin öyle diyeyim. Parçalanması son derece zor. Ancak bunları mantarlar parçalayabiliyor. Mantarlar nasıl parçalıyor? Sahip oldukları enzimler sayesinde. Tamam? Ligninin hangi enzimle parçalandığını bilmiyorum. Hı? Sorun değil. Şimdi madem söyledik, burada mesela bu etrafı doğaya çıkarsanız kolaylıkla görebileceğiniz likenler bunlar. Şurada gördüğünüz kayanın yüzeyinde bu şekilde yaşayan e, organizmalar diyemeyeceğim, birliktelikler, simbiyotik e, canlılar ve bunlar fotosentetik algler ve mantarların birlikte yaşamasından e, oluşuyor. Ve de kayayı bile eritebilecek, kayayı bile zaman içinde, tabii bu hemen bir yıl, 2 yıl bir süreç değil, topraklaşmada özellikle kayaların toprağa dönüşmesinde çok önemli rolü olan yapılar likenler. Millions of photosynthetic cells are held in mass of fungal hyphae. Algae Bu arada algae dediğim şey algler. Algae or cyanobacteria occupy an inner layer below the lichen surface. The symbioses are so complete that lichens are given scientific names. Alright, this is the microscopic structure of a lichen. This is the fungal part, and these are the algae cells. The algae provide carbon compounds, and cyanobacteria also provide organic nitrogen, and fungi provide environment for growth. The fungi of lichens can reproduce asexually and sexually. Asexual reproduction is by fragmentation or the formation of soredia, small clusters of hyphae with embedded algae. Lichens are important pioneers on new rock and soil surfaces. Lichens were on land 420 million years ago. These early lichens may have modified rocks and soil much as they do today, helping pave the way for plants. Fungi as parasites. About 30% of non-fungal species are parasites or pathogens, mostly on or in plants. Each year, 10% to 50% of world's fruit harvests is lost due to fungi. Some fungi that attack food crops are toxic to humans. Some examples for fungal parasites. The general term for fungal infection in animals is mycosis. Ringworm and athlete's foot are examples for human mycosis. Systemic mycosis spread through the body. For example, coccidioidomycosis produces tuberculosis-like symptoms. Some mycoses are opportunistic, for example, Candida albicans, with cause of yeast infection. Practical uses of fungi, they are also used in practice. Humans eat many fungi and use others to make cheese, alcoholic beverages, and bread. Some fungi are used to produce antibiotics for the treatment of bacterial infections. For example, penicillium. Genetic research on fungi is leading to applications in biotechnology. For example, scientists are using Saccharomyces to study homologs of genes involving Parkinson and Huntington diseases. For example, insulin-like growth factor can be produced in the fungus Saccharomyces cerevisiae, which is yeast. For example, another one, Gliocardium roseum, a fungus that produces hydrocarbons similar to diesel fuel, could be used to produce biofuels. All right, any questions about fungi? Mantarlarla ilgili, funguslarla ilgili sorusu olan var mı? Evet, o zaman geçiyoruz hayvanlar. YouTube yayını durdurayım. Başka bir başlıkla açacağım çünkü hayvanlar.